What's up, everybody? Shauna D-Man here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are had yourselves a great week. Getting ready for the weekend. We are back with another kind of nerd talk anime review, and we are going to be talking, as you saw by the thumbnail, about Keijo. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't know what this is, basically, the past couple of weeks, we have been going through, or at least I have been going through and rewatching some new anime because it has been some years since I've watched anime, and we're just going to be talking about some of them. So if you've not seen the other ones, definitely go check them out here on the channel. We've done Goblin Slayer, Monster Girl Doctor, High School DxD, Absolute Duo, and now Keijo makes the fifth series that we've watched in the past couple of weeks, and gonna be doing a small little review talking about it. So let me. So Keijo was, let's see, when was it released? So this is an old. This is probably, I think, another old series. Um. So so a lot of these, obviously, with these animes, they have like manga versions and stuff like that. Um, the manga itself ran from 2013 to 2017, and then was turned into a series, like a one season series, in 2016. So it has been about 10 years since this particular show has come out. With a lot of these animes, a lot of them have basically come out about 10, maybe 15, no, not 15, but at least 10 to maybe 12 years ago. I know Goblin Slayer is one that came out, but Goblin Slayer had two seasons plus like a little movie, which I think season two of Goblin Slayer came out in like 2020, maybe 2021. High School DxD had four seasons, and that came out in, I think, 2015. Absolute Duo was another one that came out in like 2016, 2017. Monster Girl Doctors. So a lot of these are like at least 10 years old in terms of me watching them for the first time. Now, I don't typically read manga or anything like that, so I thought this was gonna be fun. So let's talk about it, man, because I finished it up, and I remember. Now this show I do remember watching, not watching, but like I saw clips of it on TikTok. So again, with a lot of these animes that I've coming across, a lot of them are from things I've seen on TikTok that I wanted to go and check out. So the anime itself is, so Keijo is a sport where it's like it's an all female sport in the show, where it is females competing on these uh these objects called land, and there's different forms that we see throughout the season of Keijo. And this is drastically different from whatever sport's going on, because in this particular sport, you're battling with your tits and you're battling with your butt. And so each of these players are special, like not specialized, but like a lot of them have strong butts, some have strong boobs, and I think the show was maybe from like 16 and above. Let me see, I have it right here actually. Um, so this show is 14 plus. There is some, like, it's not like full blown nudity or anything like that, but they're all like obviously like sexual like content and stuff like that. But it's like nothing like too crazy. Like a lot of these players in this show, they have like their own little special abilities and stuff like that, and like uh some may have to like fondle their boobs. Others have this ability to where they can just tighten their butts and make it like as like as tight as steel, which was crazy. And so I was just all into this show. This was a crazy show. So it revolves, the primary character is Nozomi. The hard part about watching this on Crunchyroll is typically I watch like at least anime with subtitles on. That just helps with like stuff they're saying. But in the case of Crunchyroll in this show, a lot of times it doesn't match up to what they're saying. And I think the same thing happened with when I was watching um what you call it, absolute duos. It was kind of the same thing where because the captions didn't really match up with what was saying, it was kind of very confusing on what they were trying to say. But Nozomi is a character who has dreamed of being a Keijo player. She wants to be the top Keijo player, um, just like any athlete would. And so she goes to a Keijo school. There's two schools. There's one in the west and there's one in the east. And towards the end of the season, they have the East-West War, which is a competition between the two, and they compete for who's the best. Now, Nozomi School, they have lost at least 10 straight against the East team. So obviously this is a very big deal with them. But there is a lot of characters in this show to try to keep up with. Let me see if I can bring up some names. Let's see. So for instance, you got Nozomi, you got Miyata, who I guess you could probably, if you want to say they're best friends, that is, I guess that's a fair thing to say about it. Now, Miyata is an ex judo champion who decided to become a Keijo player, which is part of her character and part of her story throughout this series because her dad, he is not too happy about that. Obviously, he feels like Keijo is just a wasted sport, and you kind of see him at towards the end of the season when he comes with Miyata's mom, and they're watching, and they're just he's not into it. He does not like it, but as it goes, and as Miyata in the first round just completely takes care of business and wins the first round for the West, he looks around and he just sees how everybody is just cheering for not only the school but for Miyata as well, and he's proud of her. He turns out to be very proud of her. So because they go to Kyoto for like special training, and some of these are pro Keijo players, so and they get like tickets to invite their parents or invite their family to the event and stuff like that. Now Miyata says in the show she says she didn't invite her parents, but I want to say I thought they were gonna like reveal it that Nozomi was the one that told her parents, but it seems like they they probably kept their eye on things and stuff like that. So Miyata is the fastest outfighter, and her techniques are very very interesting. So and then we have uh is he's Alba or I think it's Alba. I'm pretty sure they pronounce it Alba. She's an interesting character. She has a unique technique to where if she can gather data on Keijo players just by like touching them or like touching their butts. So there's a sequence when they are just doing some training in the early stages of their Keijo journey and everything, to where she massages all the girls and she's able to gain information like on their fighting styles and stuff like that. Even to the point to where during the East-West War, she's able to it's copycat based, but like she's able to use some of the abilities of some of the other female Keijo players that they go to school with. It was funny because it was interesting because Nozomi, it's kind of Nozomi's fault because in the first couple episodes, Alba doesn't really talk. Like she's kind of quiet, and that's because she thought Nozomi was gonna make fun of her accent. Because I think she made fun of Known, who I'll talk about next. I'm not gonna go through every character, but at least the main four, because they're kind of like roommates and stuff like that. But they have to. There's a session to where they gotta like bounce a beach ball oh so many times before it hits the ground, and so you're watching Alba kind of like not I guess predict where the ball is going to land, and so that realizes to Nozomi that she's reading the wind. She has like this kind of ability, and so man, I got so mad because with her particularly during the East West War, she's going against one of the East's player, and there's a moment where they both get knocked off the land and they both hit the water at the same time. Now it looks like they hit it at the same time, but then they do like a replay and it shows that this East player, she had the ability to basically twist her nipples to create like a powerful, I don't want to say tornado, but I guess that's the proper way that I could probably describe what it was. But she creates like this tornado that was able to keep her out of the water long enough for Alba to fall in, and the East was able to win that round. Um, and then you have Known, who is a clumsy person, and it's just funny because she's always like tripping over stuff, or like she even puts on her dress backwards, or she wears like somebody else's clothing by accident. But her butt is apparently squishy, so that is something you learn about this character. So everybody has their own unique thing that they can do. So sticking primarily with Nozomi, she is able to learn like a few new techniques. So one of the most powerful attacks in the show is the vacuum butt cannon, but it is dangerous because it it puts such a strain on your body because you're gathering so much momentum and speed and power that when you release it, there is a chance that you can hurt yourself. So that's one thing she learns. She learns butt flash from one of the pro players that Shay trained with in the middle of the season when they went to Kyoto. She had to like basically like pull turnips out of the ground, like the whole not like the whole turnip. Um, and each time she didn't, like if she like pulled up half a turnip or something like that, you know, they had to pay for it. So it's a funny sequence because like a couple of days straight in a row, they're all eating turnip based meals, and it was pretty great. Animation wise, I thought this was a pretty funny, a pretty bright, colorful animation. The voice acting, I love it. Um, and then all the other characters are just so unique with their own unique abilities that like I mean you got to go watch it. It's I mean it's been out for a while and you just got to go watch it. Um, what else was it about it? Uh, it definitely leaves off. I mean, it does leave off to where like there's only going to be one season. I don't know if that's the case of on how the manga goes because at the end of the season, the West school wins, and so now a lot of them they basically graduate towards the end of the episode. They essentially make it they put it out as like they graduated from um well Saratosh. Let me see how do you pronounce that. I forgot how you pronounce the school that they were at. But they all end up going their own separate ways. They're all in different branches. So you have Miyata and Nozomi in a particular branch. I think there's two other people who are also in the same uh, branch as them. But it towards the end, it seems like it sets up an opportunity that if they wanted to do a season two, they could. But obviously, at least I don't think they've. Obviously, if they'd announced a season two, it was probably it would already been out by now. But um, so yeah, second season of Keijo anime has not been announced, and it's highly unlikely to happen. The first season produced by Studio Epic aired in 2016, adapting a only a portion of the so only a portion was um used for this series. So a continuation is improbable for a few key reasons. Low sales. The first season struggled with poor Blu-ray and DVD sales in Japan. Manga cancellation. The original series was abruptly canceled in 2017 due to lack of popularity and low circulation numbers. So the studio that created the manga, um, well, no, not the manga, but the studio that produced the anime was dissolved in 2019. So but it looks like they a lot of people want it. Now I wonder if it's like one of those things where like the initial viewership of it didn't garner a lot of views, but over the years it's garnered more and more eyes and viewership on the show. Now more people want to see a season two, and that's the thing with all these seasons of these animes that I've been watching, with the exception of High School DxD, which had 4 seasons, and Goblin Slayer, which had 2 seasons and a little small animated movie for Crunchyroll. Um, the majority of these are all 1 season that only use a portion of the manga, and you know, that kind of sucks because like getting into these, like I found myself very like I'm starting to get more invested into these shows. Like the more I watch like 2 or 3 episodes a day if I have the time. But like these shows are so fun, the characters are so good, and it sucks when you like you finish it and then you're kind of like, oh, that was it. I wish there was like you know more for me to watch and everything, but obviously that's not the case and all that. But I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. I loved Keijo. Such a great fun series. If you have not watched it, go check it out. Everybody has their moment to shine in this show, and me as the main character is able to bring out the best in a lot of these characters as well. So I would definitely highly recommend going to see it because the show itself, you've got on Crunchyroll, it has about almost 4.5 stars. 4.3 is the average rating out of 8,000 people. About 68% of them gave it a 68%, yeah, a 5 star. So about almost a 5 star show. And so a lot of people seem to like the show. I think it's fun. I think it's great, and I would love to see more, but obviously I understand why that's not the case. But guys, that is basically it. That's my quick little review of Keijo. If you've not seen the series, go check it out. If you're new to the channel, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Comment below. Tell me what's your favorite anime. If you have any recommendations, put that down in the comment section as well. You can find me down in the links below to the gaming channel, the Nerd Talk podcast on Spotify, Kick, Twitch, Rumble. But guys, thank you again for hanging out. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Y'all have a good one.